Hey Simlies, it's Deligracy here, and I'm doing a speed build today for an elderly couple. I have a very, very good friend of mine who just lost both of their grandparents pretty close together, and it was really, really sad. So it inspired me to make a build for an elderly couple. So this was just something a little bit different. I really love how this house is quite unique. You'll notice after we delete what we're working on right now, because I was going to do like a beach house to begin with, and then I was like, ew, I don't like this. And I knocked it down, and then I made something that the exterior is it has quite an irregular shape. So I don't know, I just liked it. It was a little bit different, and it's definitely got a lot of character. So you'll see it come all together as the speed build goes on. If my voice sounds a little bit off, or if I'm a little bit slow in this video, or I sound like I don't have a lot of energy, it's because I have had really bad food poisoning and I haven't been able to record for the last 2.5 days. And a lot of you guys know I'm actually heading to Gamescom Germany on Monday. So missing out on 2 days of recording means that there won't be as many videos as I had planned for you guys. I was planning to have videos every single day while I was away. But unfortunately, sometimes we get sick and we can't control that. So I do apologize that there won't be as many videos, but I know you guys are very supportive and you guys do understand. So thank you for that. I love you. But yeah, I had the worst food poisoning ever. Like, oh my God. I have had food poisoning once before, I think, but this one was neck level. I believe it was some Bersha muesli. And if you don't know what that is, it's like muesli that's been soaked in yogurt and milk for a long time. With fruit and stuff in it. And I am, well, in the past, I've been lactose intolerant. I think I still am lactose intolerant, but for some reason, it doesn't affect me as much anymore. So, to be honest, I think I just have IBS. So I just get sick from eating food randomly. But I think because a lot of people are like, but you're lactose intolerant. That's why you were sick from Bircher muesli. I'm like, no, nobody, no. I was so ill. I was like throwing up through my nose and I was like, it was coming out both ends. I'm sorry, guys. This is a TMI right now speed build, but it was just like everywhere. And oh my gosh, I feel like I shouldn't share this much in speed builds, but I feel so close to YouTube now and you guys, for some reason, I just let it. Oh, I was going to say let it all out, but that's not the right words, is it? But you know what I mean? Like, I feel so, it's so easy for me to talk to you guys. It's like an outlet. It's quite amazing, actually. So I just go ahead and say it. So yeah, it was really awful. And the saddest thing that happened was my mom came over to my apartment to look after me because she's such a lovely lady. And while she was here, she was like cleaning up the house or the apartment a little bit. And I was on the ground trying to crawl to the bathroom. And I actually literally fell asleep face down on my carpet, like face planted down on my carpet for like 4 hours on my way to crawling to the toilet. She says the saddest thing ever. We had a bit of a laugh about it today though. But yeah. That's what I've been up to the last 4 days. Good times, good times. But I am feeling a little bit better. So hopefully I can enjoy Germany to the fullest. So exciting times. Anyways, moving on away from that negativity. This is the speed build coming along. And I did really enjoy doing this after being unwell. It's just like, I don't know. I was being very experimental with the roofing in this. I wanted the roofing to be something I could learn from, which I did. You know, if you experiment with parts of the game that you might not be great at, you just become better, of course, and you might learn new skills. And for this, I did. And I learned that I can make some very interesting houses. This house is, of course, not my taste. I deliberately was inspired by several different elderly people's homes I've been to. Now, we are probably, like what I'm about to say, of course, is a massive stereotype. It's probably quite localized to me being here in Australia as well. It's probably very different from all the different countries in the world you live in. But I find that a lot of grandparents can be very old-fashioned, and they love collecting things like old plates, and they like their old chairs, and they often have little TVs, although my grandparents have a big TV. My grandma has an iPad, which is pretty cool. But, a lot of the time, elderly people hold on to these objects and things that look very old because they've been kept for so long, and they're obviously very special to them, and their home becomes this story of a very long life that's been lived with objects and collectibles from all different years, whether it be like 70 years ago or 20 years ago or 5 years ago. It's just this huge mishmash of things. So yeah, I don't know. I just really enjoyed making this house a little bit cluttered. I went for that look and feel in this home. And I'd actually like to know in the comments down below if you have grandparents or if you know someone who is elderly who is really, really contemporary in their taste, like super not cluttered, super modern, sleek, or just minimal. I would love to hear that in the comments down below, because I don't think I've ever, actually, no, I lie. I've met one elderly lady who was like really, really, really modern and sleek. Her house was epic, or is epic. I think she sold it though. I think she sold it now, but I was like, oh my God, this is my dream house. But yeah, I don't know. I want to hear in the comments down below. This house is so like this wall, that bit that kind of hangs down diagonally. I'm like, oh, I don't like that, but I love it for this house because it gives it character, It looks like it's been kind of awkwardly added on at some stage over the years. And there's a lot of balconies too. This house would be interesting to renovate as well, I think, because I don't know, maybe your Sims a new family could move into it and then do it up bit by bit. That could be pretty cool. But yeah, I was just trying to think, what color scheme do we want? I liked the idea of it being green and brick. I can't really explain why I liked that, but I just did. And I thought the white finishes were pretty good for this build because, obviously for The Sims 4, everything comes in white and it doesn't really come in a lot of other swatch colors. So usually adding some kind of white accents helps with builds. So that's why I included white in there. Otherwise, I was trying to use a bit of brown, but it just didn't work because not all the windows came in brown and the pillars and stuff. And, it just becomes a little bit difficult. Just adding some doors around the place, and we are lifting the house up. So it is on a bit of a foundation there. It just makes it look that little bit more realistic and actually grounded, even though we're lifting it away from the ground. Interesting choice of words there, but yeah, I don't know. I think it works quite nicely. And we're also going to do something very exciting. We're going to have an outhouse. Now, outhouses, I don't know if they are more of an Australian thing. I feel like they would be in many countries in the world, but called something else. But an outhouse in Australia is basically a toilet, not a bathroom, just a toilet that is separate to the house. It's like an outhouse out the back. If you guys watch my Firewatch series, playing Firewatch, the toilet that was outside, that's what we call an outhouse. So I don't know if the same term is used in other countries, but yeah, I was really excited to put an outhouse here because it's so like old school Australian. And I don't say Australian like Australian really, but I do to be funny. But yeah, that's why we put that in there. And I actually was struggling to make room for a bathroom. I could have made room for a bathroom, but I decided to do the outhouse instead. And there's even a sink outside as well. And I just thought that was pretty funny. So we do have that in the house. That's obviously probably something you guys would like to renovate. And I have not put this house on the gallery as of yet, as I'm making this video, just because I shut it down and I forgot to do it. But if you guys remind me, I will be sure to upload it to the gallery. So yes. And we're just putting in, just figuring out the upstairs layout. So we've got, actually, by the time this goes live, I might have put it up on the gallery. Still do check. My username is Deligracy if you do want to download it, because it may be up there. I'll try and find some time before I leave. But yeah, upstairs, I've placed a bed, and I put that bed there because I usually just place random items just to figure out how much space that I'm working with. So often you'll see earlier in my builds furniture that you're kind of like, oh, that doesn't really go. What's she doing there? And that's just because it's merely just to be a placed object for the purpose of figuring out if it can fit there. And then we end up changing everything. So this dining table right here, that's just using it for figuring out how much room I have and the layout of the house. And we are also going to use a lot of curtains in this build, which I know some of you guys will be really happy about because I do not like using curtains. I'm not a huge fan of curtains in general. I need curtains, obviously, for privacy, but I'm the type of person to never want heavily draped curtains. I like neat ones. Venetian blinds or probably a Holland blind is my kind of thing, nice and clean. So naturally, in The Sims 4, I don't like using curtains either. I like having all the big windows. And I think we're also really limited in curtains as well that actually go with the windows in the game. So, yeah, some of you guys will be pleased. For once, I'm using curtains in this build because it goes with that more old-fashioned taste. And yeah, love it. Love it, love it. I also skipped doing the landscaping just because I felt that it was making the video longer and probably was unnecessary. In all of my videos over the course of time, you guys have seen me do a ton of landscaping. If you want to see more landscaping videos, I'm happy to make separate videos just for that. Just comment down below, or if you see someone who's commented about it, just give it a thumbs up because that'll actually push that comment to the top so I don't miss it. They're just placing in the trees and whatnot, getting some shrubbery in there. And there's a little outhouse. It's so cute with the bins out the back. I thought the bins looked quite realistic. I think this is quite a realistic house, even though it's a little bit odd. I think it works. I think it works. I'll be interested to see what you guys think in the comments, actually, because it is a little bit different. Yeah. And with the little outhouse, I was trying to figure out what tiles and what wallpaper to use, but I felt like if we just went with a really raw kind of vertical timber, got to have the books next to the toilet. Actually, that is one thing I've never in my whole life understood. Books next to the toilet, magazines next to the toilet. I have never read a book or a magazine on the toilet. I don't know, like, I guess I'm someone who just goes in and out. I don't take very long there. I understand that a lot of other people do take their time in there, but it's just something I've never done. So I'm just like, how do you have time to read a book in there? But I put the books there in any case, just because I felt like a lot of bathrooms do have that. And it is quite common in older people's homes, I think. Not my grandparents, though. They don't have a stack of books in their bathroom. Maybe they have once upon a time, but yeah, I just thought that was pretty funny. We're also putting some lighting around the house. I've gone with, to begin with, I was actually going with these gold lights, but in the end I thought these ones were much cuter because they had the green metal and then that pink floral heads to them, which I thought was very old school, and I just feel like an elderly woman would go, oh, that's nice with the flower on it. Let's get that one. So I put that in there. And I also decided to go super 50s stereotype, which like, of course, so much of the 50s kind of, how do you even like say it in a nutshell? I guess pretty much what I'm trying to say is in the 50s, a lot of women the culture was the woman stays at home, the man works, the woman looks after the kids, they don't have a job, they're there to cook and clean, you know. That's obviously dumbing it down a lot to explain it. But even though that a part of me that angers me so much, but also it was just a way of life then, I did kind of use that as inspiration to go with a pink kitchen for the woman's kitchen, you know, going with that old school theme of the woman cooks and cleans. Of course, I don't agree with that, but I thought it was appropriate for this build. And I also put this window in here, which I know a lot of you guys might be a bit confused by, but that window was to symbolize like a hidey hole, so a hole that you could pass the food through, because some older houses tend to have those, newer houses as well, but a lot of older ones too. And yeah, I just liked that idea. The dining table is just going to be pretty simple and suit the timber flooring. We're also going to match the chairs to the pink wallpaper, which I think that pink wallpaper is hideous in my opinion. But it's probably a wallpaper a lot of people would like. Yeah, but just not me, But that's the good thing about building in The Sims, is that you don't always build things that you necessarily would like yourself to live in. You build things that suit a character that's in your imagination. So this is an elderly couple who are in my imagination, and this house is definitely theirs, not mine. Not mine at all. It was kind of nice making use of these cabinets and decor items that I never use, with all the plates in them. I think my main issue with them is the scale of them. I've always felt like the scale was odd with those cabinets, but I think it's more so, oh my God, there's actually a party outside of my apartment. It's people partying. Where was my invitation? Oh well, you might hear some like yelling and stuff in the background. Just people partying without us. Fine then. I have FOMO. No, I don't. Where was I? Oh yeah, we're putting in some nice vases and whatnot in here, and the tea set is so cute, right next to that plane model. I think my grandpa is so interested in aviation and planes. He actually helped build planes back in the day. So he has a really big passion for aviation. So I kind of put that in there as a nod to him. And yeah, I think he would have liked that. And also my grandparents have an old grandfather clock. Do your grandparents have that? Or do you guys have that in your houses? Because there is nothing that makes me feel more at home than when I go to my grandparents' house and that grandfather clock goes off, because it feels so nostalgic. I feel like what I felt like when I was 5 years old at their house, because they still live in the same house, and it is just like, I'm home. That's the feeling I get. And I thought this chair was perfect to put in the corner because it looks like the ultimate grandparents' chair. And how good is it that those plates in the corner, actually the pink color of them completely match perfectly the pink chairs. Love it. And lots of curtains there. That room is very, very dark, which Deli could not live in, but that is some people's taste. I don't understand why so many people shut their curtains all the time. I know sometimes it's for security, so people can't see into your house and to like lock the house up kind of thing. But why do so many people have their curtains closed? Why do you guys close your curtains if you guys are people who close your curtains? I'm like, let all the light in. Let me be a part of nature. I don't know. It's just me. I don't get it. It's so funny how we're all so different. I think it's a lot to do with upbringing though. My parents always had the windows open and a lot of light coming in. Like my mum was always there in the morning being like, okay, open up your blinds. And I have definitely inherited that trait. And I actually do that to people myself now. I've done that to James a few times and like Tom, they're my YouTuber friends, and they're like, why are you opening my curtains right now? Go away. And I'm like, good morning. You gotta do what you gotta do. And I put a big plant in the kitchen because I don't know what it is with old people and having plants in their kitchens. It just seems like it's a thing. I don't know. This lounge room, I wanted to give it a 70s vibe originally. So I was thinking of, that burnt orange color scheme with dark browns and mustard yellows with a hint of green in there. So we didn't really achieve it with the swatches available in The Sims 4, but there's a little bit of a hint of it. I mean, this is just, I would like throw out the carpet and completely change this room if I lived here. But again, I thought it was kind of cute. Actually, that carpet, we end up using neutralizes it a lot. So that carpet's not too bad at all. And I did put a boat on the fireplace. I just lifted it up there. If you were going to use this house for gameplay, I'd probably be careful of the fireplace catching on fire, because I'm just not sure. When I've tested fireplaces catching on fire, I can never actually get it to catch onto anything. Like, it never does go up in flames for me, but I've heard that other people it does. So I don't know. See how you go. And I did like putting the little TV up there because it looks like the TV's a little bit older. It's barely used. It probably has a lot of dust on it, but it's just there because, gotta have that TV. Why not? Why not? And of course we needed a bookshelf. So right now we're just going to kind of squeeze it into the corner, make some room for it. And if your grandparents are like my grandparents, they have a ton of books. So I could have put like 50 bookshelves in this house, but we would have had no room. But my grandparents, they have a lot of books. They are very well educated. And my grandpa is obsessed with history. Like, he knows so much about history, and he has a book about every single topic you could imagine talking about or discussing. Like, he'll bring something up and he'll be like, I've got a book on this. So they'll go grab the book. You're like, how many books do you have? And how do you remember which book has what in it? Wow, it's pretty impressive. Anyways, moving to the upstairs now. I did have a little bit of trouble with the wallpaper here because the roof double height wall just there, or like 1.5 wall height, does come into the bathroom. And because of that, we couldn't just change the one section of the bathroom wall on the left. Like, if you change that left wallpaper, it changes the whole thing. So I was like, oh, really? So that was kind of annoying. But in the end, it kind of works because we end up using just white weatherboard. So it works on the outside and the inside. I quite like using weatherboard on the inside interior of houses too. I think it looks kind of beachy. And yeah, I like it. And I wanted this bathroom to look pretty old school. So it's definitely got that off-white tile look, as well as some floral wallpaper, just to really, really make it look nice and old. I think it works quite well. And the bedroom color scheme is very cream as well. There's a lot of cream in there once we get the bed happening. And I do like that the toilet has that little brown flush detail on it. I think that's perfect. And again, we're adding a little bit of a 70s vibe in there by having those brown towels on the towel racks. I also loved this screen against the floral wallpaper because the screen is floral. I thought that looked so pretty because it kind of matches. I don't think it's the same floral image. It could be though. Oh, it looks quite similar. No, I think it's different, but it's pretty cool. And I thought this wallpaper went really well with the bed. And of course, we're going to go all out, you guys. We're going to use the brown carpet. Oh, yeah. That's what we want. Nice and old school. And we will be putting a few books next to the bed. And we're going to put some shelves in there as well to kind of make up for not having enough room for bedside tables, but I'm pretty sure the Sims should be able to hop into the bed without any issues. I think there's enough space. Yeah, just putting in the books there, a couple of flowers, and we are going to pop in a dresser. And what else do we put in here? I think we make what do we put on the diagonal wall? Oh, a mirror. That's right, mirror. And I do like the old train sitting on there as well. That's definitely, it makes me think of those old tin train toys that they used to have back in the day. So I thought that was kind of nice. And putting curtains over the doors as well as the window, and they all match, which makes me cringe. But you know what? This is a perfect elderly home. I don't actually know what to call this in the title, like grandparents' home, elderly home. Elderly home sounds like a retirement village, so maybe not. Or I don't know. I wish I could get your help to title videos. Oh, I could ask on Twitter. That's a good idea. And then this balcony is just a nice little seating area coming back from the main bedroom. And I was thinking in my Let's Plays, if I had grandchildren coming to stay at their grandparents' house, I would use the tents from The Sims 4 Outdoor Retreat and use those tents for the grandkids. Oh, and by the way, I completely forgot to tell you guys, this is a base game only build. So I mean, apart from if I've just made a mistake and used something accidentally from another pack, from what I know, this is fully a base game build. I hope I haven't used something by mistake. So any of you guys who have The Sims 4 can use this, and it should be able to go plop right into your game. And yeah, so you can use it straight away, which is good. Because I know a lot of you guys have been asking for base game builds or builds using just 1 or 2 stuff packs or expansion packs, so instead of like everything available, because obviously most people don't have all the expansion and stuff packs. I'm just obsessed with The Sims, so it is necessary for me. And finally, we also have a woodworking bench out the back. I love how it sits perfectly under that lamp on the wall, and we've also got a little outdoor table area. Gonna put some plants in as well, just on the decking area too, to finish it off and just make it look all nice and complete. And there's a monkey bar there just for the grandkids. All right, going into the screenshots, you can kind of see the regular shape of the house, and we're just gonna have a look at a few different angles of it. I just love how different it is. It's just, in a way, it's kind of odd, that back part, how it's just kind of clipped onto the edge, but it's different. Me likey. And it's very matchy, like the green door with the green shutters and the white trim with the white. And then there's this toilet green door that it looks like they just found a free door and they're like, it's green, it'll go with our greenhouse. But I left it because I was like, I think it's kind of cool that it doesn't go. So here's a view of the front entrance. There's lots of garden gnomes as well, because elderly people often have a lot of statues in their gardens. And this is the nice big grandfather clock, maybe grandpa's jacket and grandma's hat on the door there. And we've got lots of oranges and warm colors in here around the fireplace. So it looks very cozy with a very green chair. The pink kitchen, complete with a pink fridge, fans, and a peeky hole thing that you can pass the food through, perhaps. And then this is the dining area where we've got the matching pink chairs, but we've also got a couple of odd chairs on either end of the table. And of course, the upstairs bedroom. That's kind of mismatched, but kind of also, obviously, they've gone to a lot of trouble to make the bed cover match the wallpaper. And that hideous bathroom, which is fabulous. Anyways, guys, thanks so much for watching. I hope you're having a lovely morning, afternoon, or evening, wherever you are in the world. And I look super forward to speaking to you soon. Love you guys.